Hello everyone, welcome to Crystal Eclipse. My name is Jessica. In this video, we'll be asking the cards what they'll think about you when you first meet. And here, this will be for your first initial meeting, how they'll feel about your looks and your personality. If you'd like to skip to a stack, you can check the description box or the comment section for timestamps. I have 5 stacks for you all today. Starting over here, we have Obsidian, Labradorite, Lapis lazuli, Ocean jasper, and lastly, pink quartz or rose quartz. So let's get started. Starting with our first stack, we have Obsidian. Our first card is the Two of Swords. Next we have the Eight of Wands, Shaman, Divine Wisdom, Spiritual Power, and lastly we have Breathe. Let me zoom you in. So with this deck, I want to say that this person seems more like they almost don't have any expectations on what they're looking for or what they're hoping you to be. And it seems more like they've been told a lot in the past about how relationships should progress, or maybe they've been told about from other people's standpoints that this is how things should be and this is how you should approach the situation. But it seems almost like either that the other people have outdated opinions or just opinions that don't fit into what they're hoping for. It seems like whatever it is, whether this is because of a previous relationship or because they don't know what they're looking for and they're just really hoping for somebody who just meshes with them well, somebody who matches their personality or just is able to be compatible with them, they really want to go into this blindfolded, like we see in the Two of Swords, without any expectations. Although it may seem like they have their guard up, we don't really see any intensity. We don't see any fear in this card. This essential character is just sitting there expecting that things might not go well, but not on edge. It can be a situation that goes different ways. We can see this encounter not going well. We can see it going great. But whatever the situation is, this person that you're going to meet is not expecting anything great. They're not expecting anything horrible. They're just hoping for something that will complete them, something that will make them feel happy. So I really see with this situation, when they see you, the way you look is wonderful. The way you act is wonderful. The way you dress is wonderful. Everything about you is wonderful because they think that that's what was led to them. So they're fully embracing of everything that you are, because to them, when they meet you, it'll be a for sure thing. There won't be any questions about this because they'll know with how open they are, with how they're trying to embrace more freedom, they'll see you as something that they can fully embrace. So everything about you is quite wonderful to them, or will be when you first meet. I see with this Eight of Wands card, it might be a situation where you almost don't believe it. And it could be that it's because they're just so happy to see you, or they're constantly complimenting you or flattering you, that you get to a point where you think they're a little too aggressive or it's a little too much. Maybe they're not sincere, or maybe they're just saying these things to make you feel good, but it really is. It just might seem like it's a little too much because they're really throwing themselves at you in a way. They're wanting you to see how much they already like you, and I think it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just seems like it could come across as quite intense or quite unusual because they're just so happy to meet you, really. It seems like with this stack, it's just really like something that they've been hoping for on a more spiritual level, on a more in tune with the universe level. I would also say with the Shaman card, Divine Wisdom and Spiritual Power, because they've been waiting for this, because they've been hoping for this and planning this out, thinking about how this meeting will go and trying to, I guess, figure themselves out so that when they meet you, they're more open. I would say that it's really going to be a good moment for you two to meet. And I think the things that you'll have in common will really help them like you even more. So it seems like your personality, your hobbies, your interests are all going to show through immediately, so they'll be really able to embrace you. It also seems like with this divine wisdom and spiritual power, there's a big connection going on between you two on that spiritual level. I see you both sort of being able to unite on that same front. When you both look for the way that you embrace the universe, the way that you embrace each other, the way that you go about thinking, there's going to be quite a bit in common, more than just physical attraction with this relationship. So when you first meet, although they're going to find you attractive, they're going to really like your physical appearance, I'm seeing this progression through this first meeting of the personality and the way you two are so compatible being the thing that really stands out to them, and the part of this meeting that really stays with both of you as you two progress through this relationship. I would say though, with this final card of breathe, it seems like it's just saying to you, although the situation might not be entirely positive, meaning that it might be too wonderful, it might be too perfect, or they might be flattering you too much, it really is a moment where you can rest. You can be okay with how this is progressing. This person isn't going to be very pushy. This person won't try to move this relationship faster than it needs to. They're really open. They're really embracing of you and this relationship, and they don't want anything to go wrong or to make any bad choices that might either slow down the progression of this relationship or cause an issue in the start of this relationship. It just seems more like it's saying, even though this seems maybe like they're sort of too in awe of you, it's a good relationship, and you can tell this person if they're just too much. You can tell them, don't worry about that, like hurting their feelings or making them feel bad. This is a good relationship where you two can really be honest with each other from the start, and that's another part of this breathe card. It's saying, don't worry, this person isn't going to run away from anything. They're going to be quite accepting of everything and wanting to hear everything you have to say. So with this stack, I would say, because of the way that they're looking at life, the way that they're moving forward, and the way that they just want to embrace others, I would say that they're not expecting perfection. So when they meet you, you're even greater than they had even thought that they could have or even hoped for. They had these things that they wanted, but it wasn't like mandatory. There weren't things that were deal breakers with this. So you having so much in common with them and them finding you so attractive is really something that's really going to make them dive headfirst into this relationship. You're going to have quite a bit in common. So with that attraction to you physically, they're really going to be attracted to your personality because you're going to have quite a bit in common. And it seems the commonalities will be based on your interests and just your morals, the way you approach things in life. It may not be like music or hobbies, but it seems more like the real important things that you two have is what you'll have in common. So that's what I'm seeing with this first stack and Obsidian. Starting with our second stack, we have Labradorite. Our first card is the Ace of Pentacles. Next we have the Hermit, the Ace of Shells, Happiness and Abundance. And lastly, we have Exchanging Gifts. With this stack, I think right away there's going to be a surprise with them with this meeting, with looking at you, because they almost expected something else or they wanted something else. And when they look at you, and I see this mostly in this comparison here between this cake and the coin within this Ace of Pentacles picture illustration, we're seeing a comparison, meaning that when they looked at you, they thought something else. They expected you to be different, and instead you're this person that they weren't expecting, but they're really intrigued by. It's something even better than they thought it would be, because instead of just being something that's sort of generic or something that's like everything else, you're unique and you're different and you don't fit that mold. You don't match what they're used to. You don't match what they normally go to, and it's like a surprise, but a good surprise. It's something that they can feel happy about and feel pleased with, and they're really intrigued by it because you're so different. Even though there's parts of you that are very similar to what they typically go for or what they wanted, what that like image in their head was. The things that are different about you are things that they want to be different. They're things that they're able to look at with happiness. See, with this Hermit card, it was either a previous relationship, which would tie into this card, them seeing you as different, you not being what they typically go for. If it's not a previous relationship, if they haven't been in a previous relationship, I would say it's just them realizing that they've sort of locked themselves down. They've created this ideal that was never attainable, and because of that, they ignored everyone and everything, and they now realize that they need to go for something else, or they need to not think so highly of themselves and be embracing of others. And this goes for not only romantic relationships, this goes for friendships and family. This goes for everyone. So I'll lean more toward a previous relationship, or maybe an interest in somebody else where they sort of went for that type over and over, and it was never successful. So this time around, after evaluating themselves, after realizing what the issue was in this in those past relationships, or in their life, their understanding, the way they looked at things, I see them reevaluating things so that when this relationship comes along with you, they'll be able to see it in a new light. They'll be able to have a better and different understanding of the way things should go and how they should progress through a relationship. We see the Ace of Shells here. Another Ace card, which is really good because we have both the Ace of Shells and the Ace of Pentacles. Two very positive cards that show like new coming in. Some change, some positivity, something unexpected, but something good coming your way. Abundance, a lot of happiness, a lot of positivity, a lot of things that you didn't expect, or a lot of things that you thought were impossible coming your way. These are two very good positive cards. We see happiness and abundance represented here. So I'd say seeing you as different, or allowing you, it may just be something simple, like normally they go for people with curly hair and you have straight hair. Like it could be something completely simple like that. But whatever it is, they're seeing that by opening their eyes or allowing more people in, they're going to be happier because there's so much that you two have in common, and your personality is so bright to them, so mesmerizing. It seems like they're going to really embrace you quite quickly and really be happy with not blocking you off, or not rejecting you, or not walking away from this potential relationship, because they realize quite fast that this is something new and something really, really positive, and that this is the potential for forever. I see too with this exchanging gifts. This is you two going back and forth, being able to talk freely with each other, being able to share things. And this seems to me like something that this person was never able to do. This seems like with these past relationships here, it seemed like the major issue was like a lack of communication. Maybe because they went for this like perfect type, there wasn't anything in common, so they really couldn't talk to each other. They couldn't have good conversations, the good heartfelt conversations. So there's never any real emotional growth within those relationships, or there was none at all because they completely blocked off others that didn't fit that mold, and that's why they were never in a relationship, if they were never in any relationships before you. Whatever it is, there's something that comes along with your personality that really allows them to share and open up and be more free when it comes to just you two having conversations. And I see that happening, that first meeting, them feeling like they're able to open up to you, feeling like they're able to be themselves with you, not hold back and not put on a show. Because it seems like with this Hermit card, they were so used to putting on that show or putting on a false front that they sort of lost themselves. But with you, because you two have so much in common, and you really seem like the type of person through these cards that's very calm. We don't really see anything that's really exciting, anything that's really energetic here. We see a lot of calmness within all of these cards, especially with this Ace of Shells and the turtle here. We see calmness in these cards. So you create that calmness with them. You allow them to feel comfortable through your personality, through the way you approach them, and through the way that you want to make them feel comfortable with you, because it's it seems like something that's very important for you to have conversations, not just like instant attraction. So with this Ace of Shells card, I would say it's a good learning moment, a good realization that they're going to come to when they meet you and have these conversations. So when it comes to your personality, it's really going to help them open up and be a better person, and they're really going to like that, and that's really going to help them become even more attracted to you. I would say too, even though there's maybe different things about you, you might be shorter than what they normally go for, taller, it might just be like your clothing, your style, whatever. It might not be what they normally go for, but they will find you attractive. That's what I'm seeing with this. Even though you don't necessarily fit that mold, they will definitely find you physically attractive too. So a lot of positivity coming from this relationship and this first meeting. And that's the second stack and Labradorite. Starting with our third stack and Lapis Lazuli, we have the Empress, the Six of Swords, the Four of Acorns, Comfort and Community, and Imagine. So these first three cards really tie into each other really well. We see a lot of comfort here, a lot of protection going on. We see comfort and community here. We see this figure here rowing these two across this river, wherever they need to go. And we see this Empress with the one girl helping her get dressed, putting on her clothes, helping her get ready. And then we also see these two cats sort of cleaning, one's cleaning the other, and it's sort of bonding in the background. So we see a lot of like family and friendship here within these stacks. And that would either be that this relationship is actually going to start off as a friendship, or it's already a friend. But whatever it is, the start of this relationship, even if it is a date or romantic to begin with, it seems like what they're mainly focused on, what they really are looking for, is somebody that is like family or friendly, somebody who makes them feel more comfortable, who makes them feel at ease, somebody who they're not awkward around. They seem to be the type that is easily awkward, or they sort of don't know what to do. And it seems like maybe within this first meeting, this first time that you two come together, it seems like they're going to be quite worried about the way that they look to you, or the way that they appear, maybe how their personality comes across to you. So they seem sort of standoffish. They sort of keep to themselves. They don't really want to talk a lot. They don't really want to share a lot, because they're sort of trying to read the situation, but it's still pretty awkward for them, or for sort of strange. It could be that maybe past relationships were strange for them, they didn't do well, or it could just be, what I'm leaning more toward is this being a first serious relationship, or the first relationship that they've had in a while. It doesn't seem like they're used to romance or being in a romantic relationship. With this Empress card, I really want to lean more towards you being the one that's sort of embracing them. So through these actions, even though like they will find you attractive to begin with, it's sort of something that they're not focused on, because they're so nervous, they're so caught up in their own feelings, that they're not paying attention to really what's going on. So it's going to take you being more gentle and more positive during this first meeting for them to open up to you, and for them to realize that you're there and that you're supportive, and you're not going to judge them for how awkward they are, or how they may not say a lot, or maybe not say the right thing at the right time. But whatever it is, it seems like it's really going to start off as more of a friendship building into this romance. When we see the Six of Swords coming in, I see that change into more allowing them to feel comfortable, and therefore you and them being able to talk a little more, you two being able to open up. And I do see this all happening within that first meeting. So this isn't going to happen over time. It's really going to happen with that first meeting, although they may still continue to be a little more reserved or a little more quiet. I do see them really opening up to you within that first meeting, because you're going to help them let their guard down. And that's what I'm really seeing with that second card and the Six of Swords. It's really going to be something where they can rely on you and trust you. With this Four of Acorns, I see them seeing you as more, seeing you as both incredibly attractive because you're so kind. There's something so wonderful about your personality that everything about you becomes even more beautiful, even more handsome, even more gorgeous. It seems like every single thing that you do, the way that you're so calm with them and the way you're so open with them, are things that they're really going to find incredibly attractive. So their physical attraction to you is going to grow through your personality and the way you present yourself to them. So it seems that we're heavily relying on the initial meeting, on how you two get along and how open they can be with you, and whether or not they feel like you're the type of person that they can be around long term. It also seems like they're the type of person who will maybe shy away from others or might not want to continue to talk to people if other people are too rough or too like demanding. So with the way that you approach this relationship when you first meet, it's really going to help them see a potential for this relationship, a future with this relationship, and they're really going to see you as shining. And I really see that in this picture. This Four of Acorns, this brightness here, this happiness, this sort of glowing central figure that's really inviting us in. When we see Imagine here, we're seeing that positivity coming in. We're seeing a hope for a good relationship, something that they're not used to, something that they haven't felt in the past. They didn't really think about long term. It wasn't on their mind, and it could be that it wasn't on their mind because they didn't have positive relationships before, or it could be that they had such low confidence that in their mind there was no way that they would find somebody who would be with them long term. Whatever it is, by the end of this meeting, they're positive. They've taken something good away from this meeting. They've taken something away from the way you've treated them, and they are reassured. They're hopeful. So it seems like although it may start off as a little bit of an awkward first meeting, they will find you attractive. They will really enjoy you as a person, with your personality, the way you talk to them, the way you talk in general. Everything about that first meeting is really going to want them to see you again, want to make them work harder to progress this relationship on further. So it may be that they're awkward. It may be that maybe they're not really good at talking, but whatever it is, by the end of this evening, I really see, or this meeting, that they're going to show you that they've opened up. You'll see more of a personality with them, and them sharing a lot more and really just being more comfortable with you. It'll definitely be something that's visible by the end of that first meeting, and they'll be quite excited to meet you again. So I would say with this stack, it's really that personality that makes them attracted to you, and they do find you attractive. So when they realize how wonderful your personality is, and when they learn more about you, it really makes you even more attractive. That attraction keeps growing because you're so kind to them that they really want to progress this relationship on. They really want to meet again. They want to know more about you because your personality, the way you affected them, is so positive. And that's what I'm seeing with this second stack and Lapis Lazuli. And with our first stack and Ocean Jasper, we have the Hierophant, the Nine of Pentacles, the Six of Crystals, Synergy and Gratitude, and lastly we have Poised. I think it's honestly going to be an instant attraction with you physically. There's going to be something that is really attractive about you to them, that it's going to grab a hold of them. And it seems like overall it could be anything, because we see these two figures really representing a lot. We see the whole figure here of this character down here. We also see the face here as a key point in this picture. So it could be a variety of things. I almost want to lean more toward your face, the way you smile, or the overall like build of your face. It could be your eyes too. Something about you is just instantly attractive to them. They are interested in you immediately after they see you. Physically, you are like what they'd hope for, or what they really find attractive, that type or that ideal that they're going for is you. There's just something really, really, I want to say almost distracting about you, that it pulls their attention in. You're constantly something that they keep looking towards. And I really want to lean more towards your smile, because it seems like more in that situation where every time you smile, they're distracted. Maybe like you're talking and you smile and they look at it and they're just like so absorbed in it, they don't really listen to anything else. Or you're walking and you smile and they can't look away. There's something about you, and I really want to lean toward your smile and your face that they really find incredibly attractive. When it comes to your personality, I'm seeing it represented in a lot of different cards here, but we see with this Nine of Pentacles, there's almost a reserved nature to both of you. The way that you both are approaching each other and the way that you both are I guess, interacting with each other during this first meeting. It seems like you're both trying to sort of test the water. You don't really want to say anything too exciting, too out there, too much that might give away too much in your mind about each other. Maybe if you have like something strange, like you're trying to see what it is that they're open to. And I wouldn't say it's anything bad, that either one of you has anything bad, but it seems like you just want to find out the basics about this person, see what kind of personality they have. Both of you are really trying to figure that out. So you're not really doing a lot. You're not really talking a lot or like diving really deep into conversation with this person. Seems very, very casual. But then we progress onto the Six of Crystals synergy and the gratitude. And I want to lean more on this one too. You both, through these like little conversations, this small talk, sort of get on the same wavelength. And through that, you have quite an interesting conversation where it's not really in depth. It's not really getting serious, but it's really showing you both what kind of person the other person is. And it's showing you that you have quite a bit in common, even though I've said this with many stacks, but I want to say more with this one. Your morals, your plans, your goals, the really, really important things are all things you have in common. They are going down the same path as you, and that's really going to be something that makes them incredibly fond of you and shows you too that this is a good relationship to be in. Everything you want when it comes to family, when it comes to work, when it comes to where you live, or when it comes to all those really, really important things, even religion, even just education, everything. When it comes to all those important things, you're going to find that you two are almost identical in thinking. There is so much there that you two have in common that it's surprising, but it makes it so that you really don't have to dive in deep to conversations. You don't have to go any further because there's that automatic understanding that you two think the same. You can say something and they'll understand you without you having to fully explain it or having to go into detail on anything. You're both going to be on that same wavelength. You're really going to have that commonality that is just super important for a long-term relationship. With this last card, I want to say that this person is just super excited about this relationship and really excited about you. They're so shocked that they found this person, you, who is incredibly attractive, who instantly caught their eye, who has this gorgeous appearance, this gorgeous smile, whatever it is. They're so amazed by it. And for this person that they have such an immense attraction to have so much in common with them is really going to be shocking and make them so excited about this relationship. So I would say with this one, it's really going to be them trying to not show that happiness, trying to remain reserved so that you can't tell just how happy they are, because they don't want to come across as either too overzealous in this situation, or they don't want to feel that way and you not feel that way. They don't want to make it awkward for them or for you. So it could be that at the end of this meeting, they might not seem like they're interested in you, but know that they are. They're just trying to hold back because they don't really want you to know quite how happy they are to have met you and how fondly they think of you. So with this stack, what I would say is that initial meeting, when they first see you, they are going to find you incredibly physically attractive. I'm leaning more toward the face because of the characters within this first card. It seems more like a smile or eyes that are really going to grab their attention, but it could just be your overall appearance. When it comes to the second and third card, I would lean more toward it representing your personality and say that within these two cards, we see you building that relationship up, that understanding of what the other person is, and having all those good core values in common, and that really being a good cement for this relationship to build on. We're seeing the final card as representing them, the way that they're approaching you and the way that they're interacting with you at the end of this first meeting, so that you don't know quite how excited they are. But overall, it seems like they're really going to find you attractive, and they're going to love the base morals that you have, those base values, those things that are really important for them to find in another person. And that's what I see for this foot stack and ocean jasper. Starting with our last stack, we have rose quartz or pink quartz. Our first card is strength. Next we have the Four of Pentacles, King of Acorns, optimism and innovation, and lastly procreate. With this deck, I would lean more toward their idea of you is they find you attractive, but they're not quite sure if they want to find you attractive. They're sort of trying to figure things out, and maybe it's just in their own mind. I almost want to lean more toward it's not what they thought they'd end up with, or who they thought they'd end up with. And it could be in this situation, what I'm leaning more toward is I think others have told them what they should go for and what kind of person they go for. So when they met you and you didn't necessarily match that mindset, even though they really do find you attractive, and even though they really want to be with you, or they're not like upset with your appearance, it seems like it's something that's making them hesitate because you're not fitting that idea that others have put into their head. And I really want to lean toward it being others, because we can see the central character almost protecting this little deer. We can see that there's a fear there, where you can tell that she cares for it, that she's holding on to it, but it seems like there's an apprehension there. There's a questioning going on in this card. So I would say that this is really representing that first meeting. They do find you attractive. You are what they want when they meet you, but it could be just that others have told them that there's something else that they should go for. And I see that too with this Four of Pentacles, almost a questioning, wondering what's going on. They want to protect you. They want to hold on to you immediately. They want to have you in their life. But at the same time, they don't know what to do, because they don't know if you not fitting what others want, or being the person that whoever it is has told them that they need to be with. They're still trying to figure out how to progress through this relationship, and whether or not they really want to open up to you when you first meet. But I see this King of Acorns with optimism and innovation being the key definer of this first meeting. After meeting you, after greeting you, I see them hoping for the best, changing their mind, realizing that if they found you attractive, that means something to them. That means that they should pursue you, or at least give you more of a chance than maybe others would in their family or in their circle that are telling them not to. Seems like whatever it is, meeting you, they want to pursue this relationship. They want to get to know you more, and they're allowing themselves to open up to you and embrace this relationship within this first meeting, because they want to know whether there's a chance with this relationship. They don't want to make the mistake and think, well, if I try to go after somebody else, if I ignore this person? What if they are the person? What if this person is my soulmate? What if this person is my forever? Whatever the situation is, you realize that if they're not embracing of you, then they could be sort of missing out on something that's very positive, or just something that can bring so much love into their life. I also see with this co-create card, we see a lot of differences here, but we don't see anything that's really causing us to panic. And I would say that because we see the leopard over here, we see the owl, and these creatures wouldn't have a lot in common. There would be fights, and one might try to attack the other one. We see that things aren't necessarily perfect. We see that there's some things that aren't necessarily compatible between the two of them, but we also see that they're giving each other a chance. We're seeing that open relationship that's going on here. We're seeing that nobody's jumping onto anything, nobody's starting any chaos. There's a good calmness going on here, and this could be that neither one of you expected to be with that other person or be meeting that other person, because they sort of go against what you're used to, or they're not quite exactly what you thought you'd be with. Whatever the situation is, I see it mostly being something where you realize that they're bringing a lot into your life through this first meeting. You have some things that aren't in common, but when it comes down to a lot of things, they sort of help you. They have strengths where you have weaknesses, you have strengths where they have weaknesses, and it really helps balance things out. We also look with strength in this card. We're seeing strength. You give each other strength, and you can really see that with that first conversation you have. So they're going to find you attractive, but most of all, that first meeting is really going to open their eyes and allow them to choose for themselves what they want, and maybe allow you to choose what you want without having to listen to somebody else or take somebody else's opinion into consideration when it comes to this relationship. And I see that first conversation really being one that's very open and fun and inviting on both sides. So you're really both able to contribute to that conversation, and your personality is really going to be something that they like. They're going to like the different ideas that you have, the different ways of thinking, and it's going to be something that you both can play off of. Both of the ideas that you have are going to help the other one. You're going to open each other's boundaries. You're going to broaden the horizons and really grow on each other. And even though it may be something that you're not used to, and even if what might possibly happen with this relationship is you start off maybe thinking that your family or friends won't be accepting of the other person, or it won't necessarily be somebody that they embrace with open arms, this relationship is really going to build up to that romance. So it's going to be something that you both see getting stronger, and the attraction building and the personalities coming together more. You're going to really build a good relationship before you really go into that romance. But what I'm really seeing with this deck is they do find you attractive. You may not be what others have told them they should go for, but you're going to be quite attractive to them, and they're really going to want to hold on to you because it's their type that they didn't realize that they had before. And I see them really being positive and trying to be open to you because they don't want to miss this opportunity. They're really going to like your ideas, the way you think, your personality, really a lot about you. It just may take a little time for this relationship to build up, just because there's some differences going on between the two of you. But that's what I'm seeing with this final stack and rose quartz. So those are all the stacks that I have for you all today. I hope that you found a stack that resonated with you or provided you with answers. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. If there are any questions you'd like asked in a future pick a card video, feel free to leave them in the comments section. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye-bye.